Leonidas. In 480 BCE, at a narrow mountain pass called Thermopylae, the Hot Gates, Greece was under threat. The Persian Empire, led by King Xerxes, had brought a colossal army. Historians estimate perhaps 100,000 to 300,000 strong. Standing in their way was King Leonidas of Sparta, accompanied by 300 hand-picked warriors, his royal guard, and a small coalition of Greek allies. Outnumbered by hundreds to one, Leonidas knew they could not win the battle, but they had a mission: delay the Persians, buy time for the rest of Greece to prepare. They chose Thermopylae because its narrow pass negated the size of the Persian army. For 3 days they held the enemy off, shield against shield, blood on stone, a single spark against an ocean. But betrayal came. Ephialtes, a local resident, revealed a secret mountain path that allowed the Persians to flank the Greeks. Realizing they were surrounded, Leonidas knew the end was inevitable. He dismissed most of his forces, staying behind with his 300, along with 700 Thespians who refused to leave. Together, they fought to the very last man. Though defeated, their stand became a rallying cry. Within a year, Greece united and pushed back the Persian invasion. To this day, Leonidas's last stand symbolizes the power of resistance. Admiral Yi Sun-sin. We move now to 16th century Joseon-era Korea. Admiral Yi Sun-sin was a naval commander during the Japanese invasions of Korea, 1592 to 1598. His leadership turned the tide of war, not once, but several times. Despite having no formal naval background, Yi read, studied, and built a fleet capable of fighting a superior enemy. His most iconic design was the Turtle Ship, an armored vessel with iron spikes and cannons, reusable for naval guerrilla tactics. In the Battle of Myeongyang, with just 13 ships, he defeated over 300 enemy vessels, a feat military historians still marvel at. But it's his death that seals his legend. In 1598, at the Battle of Noryang, Yi was shot by a stray bullet. He felt his end coming. His last words were to his nephew and officers: "The battle is at its height. Do not announce my death." He feared that if his men knew, the morale might break. They covered his body, raised his flag, and continued fighting. Victory was secured. A man of unmatched strategy, restraint, and service. He not only died in battle, he died thinking of others. Today, he is revered as one of Korea's greatest warriors, a symbol of integrity and tactical genius. Hypatia of Alexandria. Sometimes it's not armies or empires that define a hero, but ideas. Hypatia lived during the 4th century CE, a time when Alexandria was a center of learning, home to the Great Library. She was one of the world's first female mathematicians and philosophers, respected by Christians and pagans alike for her wisdom and teaching. Hypatia taught astronomy, built astrolabes, and contributed to early algebraic thought. She was known for her clarity of thought and devotion to knowledge, virtues that made her a trusted advisor to the city's leaders. But religious tensions were rising. A conflict between the Christian bishop Cyril and the Roman prefect Orestes engulfed Alexandria. Hypatia's close friendship with Orestes made her a target for Cyril's supporters. To them, she symbolized the pagan intellectualism threatening their authority. In 415 CE, she was attacked by a Christian mob, dragged from her carriage, and murdered brutally. They burned her remains. With her died more than a philosopher. Her death marked the symbolic destruction of classical knowledge in the ancient world. The last light of Alexandria. Robert the Bruce's heart. Robert the Bruce, King of Scots, fought tirelessly to free Scotland from English domination in the late 13th and early 14th centuries. He defeated Edward II at the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314, a victory that became a turning point in Scottish independence. But in 1329, he fell ill, possibly with leprosy, and knew his body would soon fail. He made a vow. If he couldn't fight in the Crusades to reclaim the Holy Land, then at least part of him would. His final request was that his heart be removed and carried into battle. Upon his death, his loyal knight James Douglas, known as Black Douglas, took the embalmed heart in a silver casket. Douglas set out for Spain, joining a crusade against the Moors. During one battle, he found himself surrounded. Realizing he was trapped, he threw the casket ahead toward the enemy line and cried, "Forward, brave heart! As you were wont to do, Douglas will follow thee or die." Douglas was killed, but his body and the casket were recovered. Robert's heart was returned to Scotland and buried at Melrose Abbey, where it lies today.
Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc was a 17-year-old peasant girl when she began hearing what she believed were divine voices, urging her to save France from English conquest. Despite having no military training, she convinced officials she was sent by God. She put on armor, carried a banner, and led troops to several victories, most notably lifting the siege of Orleans. Her courage changed the war's trajectory, helping see Charles VII crowned as King of France. But soon after, she was captured by Burgundian forces and sold to the English. Her trial for heresy was political, orchestrated to discredit both her and the king she crowned. Still, she never broke. Asked whether she believed her voices came from God, she said, "God knows well." On May 30th, 1431, she was burned at the stake in Rouen. Witnesses said she asked for a cross, and it was given to her. She cried out to Jesus until the fire consumed her. An English soldier later said, "We are lost. We have burned a saint." She was 19 years old. Though dead, Joan's impact grew. In 25 years, her trial was deemed invalid. In 1920, the Catholic Church declared her a saint.